Welcome again to the Ref Show, an international break. It's not liked by everybody across the board, certainly not by me, but it does give us the opportunity here at You Are the Ref to do something a bit different. We all often talk about the development of young referees and ask the question today, should the development of young players actually, and can it go hand in hand with the development of young referees? There's lots of fallout of players hoping to make the grade. Should they be diverted into taking up the flag and the whistle? Keith Hackett has long argued that for the benefit of the game, and he joins us. We're delighted to welcome alongside Keith Paul McGuiness for a debut here on the Ref Show. Now, Paul is the son of former Manchester United manager Wilf McGuiness, who Keith and I remember. Not everybody will. He had the distinction, but maybe the unfortunate distinction, Paul, of following a certain Sir Matt Busby.
He did, yes. He was, he was player, coach, youth coach, reserve coach, and then manager for a period after Sir Matt. I think 18 years at Man United. So, I followed in his footsteps in lots of ways, yeah.
Absolutely. Here at the age of 50, you've got bags of experience. You were involved in the Manchester United Academy. You managed the under-18s. I think you had 24 years in the academy at Old Trafford, during which I read you helped to oversee the development of some 86 players for the first team. That must give you a lot of pride.
Yes, definitely. And I think within a few weeks it's gone up to over 90 now. So, and 20 odd internationals. I think we had 13 at the Euros, which was fantastic. You know, that was just with Northern Ireland, Wales, England, Spain, a number of countries. So, it's really... it's proud when you see them playing so well, yeah.
23 of those that you helped oversee went on to become full internationals. Some massive names there.
Yes, and but also not just them. You know, you go throughout all the leagues, the Championship as well as the Premier League, all different ones. Wherever you crop up, there's some of our players there, and a lot of coaches give us a lot of praise and for how well disciplined the players are, how professional they are, and that's always very encouraging, yeah.
Okay, Keith, you've long advocated an opportunity, a bigger opportunity for young players who don't make the grade, and unfortunately, as Paul knows, that's the majority of hopefuls, to take up the flag and whistle. Is there a way that you two guys can sort of kick this on this programme?
Well, I think that the problem seems to be the barriers that come out of the authorities, really. My view is quite clear. If you've been through the academy setup, or even as a young player developing your own career as a player, you are bringing in skill sets that a referee has. Obviously, fitness levels, movement, understanding of the game, the players' attitudes, a lot of benefits, if you like, that are accrued through drilling techniques and various other aspects. And for me, with a one sport, unlike cricket, you can have a career in cricket and become an umpire. In other sports, that applies. Football has had very few people who have actually come through that channel. Our own Mark Halsey was a goalkeeper, so was Roger Dilks at a reasonable level. But the others, Mick Lowe in Sheffield. So there have been a number who influenced my view that out of the professional game, when these players hit the exit trials and have to decide, have they got an ongoing career in football, can they do something else? For me now, we have professional referees, so there is that view, my view, that says they could become professional referees.
Paul, has there been enough integration of these two areas in your experience?
Well, probably not, no. But I think it's like most things, you need to start quite early and get a feel for it. Well, do I like that, don't I? And if you've just been released from a club or so and your dreams are to be a player again, it's probably 2 or 3 times you're released again, or it doesn't quite happen that you realise football might not be for me. So if you've already had a taste of it, refereeing, that can be good. I know with the young players, they do the laws of the game as part of their coaching courses that they have to do, which is good. But for them to get some experience at a young age of refereeing, my own son's refereeing since 14, and to get an idea of that gives you another perspective, gives you empathy with the referee, and can help them as a player, number one. But number two is there might be 1 or 2 then start to say, well, I quite enjoy this. I've got a feel for it. I've actually got a talent for this. And if you've started early, then it might well be they're still pursuing a football career, but in the back of their mind, if it doesn't quite go right, then I've had a taste of this. I think it's given them a feel for it early on.
Is there a benefit from the game as a whole from that as well? Because if you get the players to take up refereeing, you know, that you're getting a little bit more expertise and understanding, because there's always that criticism level. I think the famous quote, and I think Neil Warnock uses it more than anybody, he says the referees know the rules, but they don't know the game. Actually, it's the laws, isn't it, Keith? But, you know, but actually, every referee has played the game at some level, even if it's, you know, raggy-arsed rovers, so to speak, haven't they? So, but there is that clash between the players.
I think it's both things. If you're a player, you've got that advantage. You know the game. You sure you do. But also, if you've not tasted refereeing, you don't know refereeing. There's a lot of different skills required for refereeing that need to become automatic for then to go on to the next step and so on. So to start and give them a taster, that would be a good initiative. You know, even within younger academy players, so that you say, well, hang on, now you get an idea of what it feels like for the ref under this pressure, you know, with people shouting from the side. And then you might also get better discipline because of that, yeah.
I mean, I've been into some of the academies, and then when we've talked about foul challenges, just around feet, the difference between careless, reckless with excessive force, those are the areas that need to be explained. And if the player understands them, then he becomes a better player. I mean, we still see players naively getting sent off for a challenge that is way outside the law, reckless with excessive force. And sometimes young players don't appreciate, because they've been allowed to commit those challenges as they come through the system. Weak refereeing, local park, local schools, all those sort of things. And it's getting that discipline in, an understanding of the laws and the mentality. I mean, I can remember going into several clubs and talking about how the players approach the referee. If it's done in the right manner, they'll get more out of the referee, not by way of, there's a balance in terms of the decision making, but they will get an answer. If they come at your face, the outcome is likely to be a yellow card.
So are we getting a disparity between how referees referee in the tough pro game, full man's game, to what they're actually doing in academies, in your experience?
Well, in my experience, what happened, it's very difficult for young referees refereeing in academies, and because they're also refereeing in the pyramid, you know, they're working their way up. And quite often in academies, we were after a real simulation of the Premier League. So we wanted exact interpretation of the laws, you know, that had to be exact, just as it would be in the Premier League or in Champions League. And we needed it consistent. But the problem was the referee the next week is refereeing in one of the semi-professional leagues where they expect a whole different set of interpretation of the game, probably 10, 15 years behind maybe in some ways. So that makes it very difficult for those referees. But certainly, they've got a very, very important role in the development of players, coaches and parents' understanding of the laws. But also I feel if they interpret them consistently and properly, then it leads to more skillful play, more skillful defending, more skillful attacking, because you can't get away with the reckless challenge or the foot-up challenge that you may do in other circumstances.
Because in that environment you insist on respect from parents and from the players. Yeah. You've got a grip on them at that age. The referees, maybe, human nature being what it is, are not being shouted at, not being sworn at, and therefore allowing a little bit more to go. And that's not good for you?
We found that all the time, even with the commentators. Sometimes they were filmed at United, not on MUTV, and you'd hear the commentators say, well, that would maybe be a yellow card or even a red card in the Premier League, but because they're younger, the referee's being a bit more lenient and he's going to just talk to them. Well, that, to my mind, doesn't educate them properly. They need to know what is a yellow card, what is a red card, because in 2 years' time they might be playing in the Premier League. So that's very important, and that can lead to inconsistency.
Well, I think the important thing here is about communication, because here, with Paul speaking, there's clearly an opportunity within the refereeing environment to pick that up and to learn that. I mean, that's why absolutely certain that going forward, the game has to have referee academies based on football academies. Right. So that what you've got is, you could have a Man United, you could have whatever team it is, and you've got a group of referees that are then trained, coached, they understand the game a little bit more, they understand blocking, they understand tactics, tactical changes in the game. So for me, here's someone overseeing the referees within a football environment that's educating, and they're getting the feedback in terms of performance very accurately.
Okay, we'll keep that around some more in part two. A great argument to finish part one on. Thanks to Paul, thanks to Keith. Do rejoin us. See you in a bit.